maybe we're going to see a little bit more of a conservative approach from these guys in 5-card, just trying not to get lured in, because so often you can flop something and feel like you're committed. But yeah, ICM will be a huge factor for these guys, so it's easier said than done, that's for sure. Arto here with the defend versus +1, ace jack 10-7. Can't really see him going anywhere. No reason to shove. He's not going to be like pushing equity versus that range, and unlikely to generate many folds versus +1. So happy just to call, and got a bit of an action flop here.
For sure, yeah. Paired board with nut flush draw for Arto, and of course the aces, and a smaller flush draw for Aki, the Finnish veteran. We were doing some research before this final table, and we saw that Aki Pysing was actually the poker face of the year 2014 in
Was
Finland.
he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So a well-known, respected player for many years in Finland, and yeah, we had him on a few of these Kings of Tallinn final tables before, and this promises for some action now then, as we have Arto with the check.
The tank check as well.
Yeah.
Like, he was considering leading. I think if you've ever got a strong hand on 8-3-3, you're just always going to be checking here. It's not so connected like an 8-5-6 or a 8-7-4 or something like that. So this paired board definitely favoring the early position opener with lots of overpairs and hands like that. They're going to be relatively neutral in terms of the 3x that both can have. If anything, Aki's going to have more 3x. And Arto does go for the check jam. I think this is the correct play. Just hoping to get a hand like Queen Jack 10-9 to bet fold or something like that. Maybe he bet folds a hand like Queens with no flush draw. And regardless, he's going to have decent equity here. And yeah, just no way we can fold Aki with the overpair and the flush draw. So 76%.
Yep. Good position for Aki Pysing now to eliminate the first player from the final table. And Aki actually was on a run here. He, when we were 9 players left, he was short stacked, and then he eliminated, I think, maybe even 2 players, the 2 final ones. Now the 9 on the turn.
Wow, that opens up some drama.
Yeah.
And there's a 9 on the river as well. Aki actually backdoors trips to go with his aces and missed flush draw. So that's going to be the end of that one. And quick exit for Arto there.
Still though, picking down well over 7,000 for his effort. I think it's around 4,500 that he will be pocketing soon. So still a nice payday in the 1,100 for him. And now down to 6 players then quickly on our final table.
Close, I think, with the poor side cards there. And he's managed to find good timing as Aki picks up yet another hand here.
Yeah. See how many will accuse him of being crazy this time, but he surely has the hand for it. Oh, bad news for Veikka.
That is bad timing, bad news, just about everything. And it's going to be an all-in. Yeah, Veikka was kind of chancing his arm a little bit with a couple of those maybe disrespectful opens.
As you can see, he's blocked with the diamonds as well, so this is looking bad for Veikka
just
right
a total
now.
disaster. You can see 3% that we can see on the... that must be because both
not often
kings
you
are
get
folded.
it in 3% in Omaha.
Pre-flop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, the card removal does play a big...
That's the check mark already on the turn, unfortunately, for Veikka, who will be leaving us in 6th place then.
Nicely done. Aki's basically bulldozing this final table so far, so it could be a runaway job for the well-known Finn player. It's a shame, but he at least he went out with the fight.
Yeah. Absolutely. Saying goodbye. So 2 Finns are out then. It's evening out.
Yeah. So we've got 3 Finns left.
Yeah.
Deniss with the Jack 9-8-6-4 double into the 2 shorter stacks. Again, coming in with the aggression. Like to see it. Oh, looks like Mika has decided to go with it, and of course he has. He's got double suited aces. Ace, ace, king, 9-8. Just about as dreamy as a spot as he could have hoped for. And I don't think we can fold this type of hand as Deniss. We are double suited, somewhat connected. It's actually much better to call this hand than maybe a hand like ace 10-10. Oh, is he going to fold? I think you got to give your opponent a spin here. You're playing for the big blind ante as well. The small blind's in there dead. We're never going to have worse than like 35% here. So he does get a discount. He doesn't have to put the whole stack in. You can definitely sort of see a flop and really fold for the rest on like the complete disaster boards like ace deuce deuce or king 3-3 or something like that. And that's what he's going to go for here. So he's going to take a flop with this double suited hand. It's quite a common situation for the aces to, you know, inevitably end up getting cracked in these kind of situations. But that's just the nature of the game. The equities run close. He's not doing anything wrong by defending here. Pre-flop is Deniss. You can see he wasn't exactly thrilled of the prospect and maybe was considering a way out, but there we go, middle pair and an open-ender. That's going to be good to go, really. So Mika puts the rest in. And we are off to the races here. 59% for Deniss. He's got a pair, an open-ender, and a whole load of side cards. Mika hoping to fade everything. A great card for him would be a deuce or a 9, for example. A 10 as well. There's the jack, so 2 pair for Deniss, and Mika has an open-ender as well. And jack 9. So the full house for Deniss is going to eliminate Mika. I don't think he's seen that he's lost, actually. He thought he might have held that one up there. And good job, but unlucky on this occasion. Does feel like that's the nature of the game in PLO tournaments. Your opponent ends up peeling a 3-bet versus your aces. You get it in at SPR point whatever, and you're hitting the rail shortly after. So another limp pot blind versus blind between the two chip leaders. Aki flops top 2 this time, and so does his opponent, so could be an interesting pot here. Aki with that 10 of spades, maybe a little bit better of better side cards with it. Kyle Thesfield saying this is the tightest table I've ever seen. Yeah, welcome to PLO tournaments. It does tend to be like this. Everyone feeling each other out. So Aki turns 3 pair. Likely to see him just pot the turn, I think. What he's going to go for on the double flush draw texture. Just looking to charge / deny equity here with the bigger sizing. Wow, and Mika just folding the bare 2 pair there. Maybe considering that he hasn't seen much aggression from Aki at all, and he feels like best case scenario he's going to have the same hand. Worst case scenario he's going to be up against a set there, and that could be very problematic for the King Jack. Deniss here is going to fold. Mikhailo in the small blind. Going to limp off of his sort of 12 big blind stack there, 13 big blinds. Aki P checking it back. One of those hands that is pretty decent, but no real reason to raise. Going to take a flop in position in the limp pot. And what a flop for Mikhailo. He flops top 2 pair with the 10 high flush draw. Actually 3 pair. Aki P has bottom set as well. Look at this for a collision. So the chips are going to be going in. It's just a question of how. Looks like Mikhailo is going for a check raise here. Yeah, and he does pot it in. And no way Aki's going to be folding here. He even blocks pocket 10s. I think he's probably not going to be that concerned about aces. So he knows that most of the time he's going to be up against a combo draw here. On this occasion, he's up against 3 pair with a flush draw. Also, obviously, quite a reasonable hand. But I think with the 8s here, there's absolutely no way. We've even got the gut shot to fall back on as well. We block pocket 10s. We're doing really well against a hand like ace-10 with maybe ace-jack 10-7. Whoa! Folds bottom set here. Feeling like he was up against it there. And, that is a rather conservative laydown. And again, just goes to show the kind of inevitable style of flips in 5-card. Just happens an awful lot. So Aki all in the big blind here. Mikael out the way. Hoping for Deniss to do the job. Going to do this kind of unspoken agreement where he limps in, Mikhailo checks, and they try and check it down and bust out their opponent. Aki's got that 10k behind. Bit cheeky. Mikhailo is going to lead the flop. And Aki is actually ahead for now with his jack, but again, it's a bit of an impossible hold here, facing a flush draw, a wrap, and a backdoor club draw. This is tough. He's going to need some low cards, maybe a couple of board pairs. There's the queen, so 10-9 does take the job done. Aki is drawing dead on the turn, and we are down to 3 here in the 1K PLO Championship. Quite nice to see someone really taking it by the scruff of the neck, like I said, and just leaning on these other players. Okay, Mikael here has a great hand. But, of course, lacking perceived fold equity in 5-card means maybe we just want to defend and create some sort of more play for ourselves. The stack to pot ratio is going to be a little bit higher. We can do some leading, put some pressure on certain types of hands. Deniss flopping a straight here. Jack of hearts on the turn now. That's 3 pair for Mikael. And he does go for the sort of pot and pray route. Deniss has the second nut straight, having checked back in a situation where he's going to be struggling to find hands that can defend against this turn pot. Not so with the 7-3, and even if it's the disaster route of the 9-7, gives him some additional options as well to hit the 8. And as you can see, Deniss getting it in with 85% equity on the turn here. Could this be the 5th finish elimination in a row? We had 5 coming into the final table of 7. We are now left with 1, and the only remaining finish hope has it in with 15% on the turn here. And if he bricks, we're going to be going to the heads up. Let's see what the river brings. Is it Jack 5 or a 4? No, the deuce. The cold, hard deuce gives Deniss the check mark. And that's going to be the end of the run for Mikael, who definitely showed some good stuff there. Gave it a bit of a battle, and unfortunately in the end runs 3 pair into the flop straight. A little cheeky move there from Deniss, checking it back, and he got the action he was hoping for on the turn. Kalo with a lovely hand here. Ace King 10-9-3, double try. Oh, this could be a collision here as Deniss has flopped middle set with a gut shot, and Mikaelo has top 2. Top 3, I should say, with 2 backdoor flush draws. Deniss going for the lead here. Kind of unconventional on an ace-high board. It's even heads up. Lead's kind of large as well, 200 into 350, so north of half pot. Not sure what all of this background noise is. Sounds like we're in sort of Hell's Kitchen or something like that. People rustling around. And Mikaelo is going to commit the stack. And here we go. Off to the races here. It's going to be 20% for Mikaelo. 2 backdoor flush draws plus the ace, and Deniss in a favorable position here with middle set. Seven of diamonds gives Mikaelo some additional outs. The diamonds are blocked by Deniss though. There's the jack, so Deniss holds up. Okay, so that's going to be the last of the stack. I'm not sure why it took so long to deal this final hand, but here we are. Deniss has picked up aces as well, and Mikhailo's got a huge hand. King, Queen, Jack 5. Still no idea why we can hear all of this rustling in the background, but do accept my apologies on that one. I think maybe someone's sort of camped out by the side of our microphone and tucking into their dinner potentially. 10-10-3 is going to be the flop, and it's looking pretty ominous for Mikhailo, although he does turn a 5 and a flush draw. Probably about the best card he could have found, but it's going to be a 6 on the river, and that's going to be the win and the elimination of Mikhailo in second place. Coming into his first major final table there, but did put up a spirited effort, and unfortunately his 3 pair bested by the set of Deniss from Latvia. Good job.